The silent guardians. The quantum sensors aboard the ESS Artemis hummed quietly as Captain Sarah Mitchell stood at her command station, watching the holographic display of deep space before her. 200 years of secrecy were about to end. Humanity's greatest deception, and perhaps its greatest achievement, was about to be revealed to an unsuspecting galaxy. Multiple contacts detected at the edge of the Orion Spur, Captain. Lieutenant John reported, his fingers dancing across the neural interface. Energy signatures matched the Nexus Empire's warships. They're pursuing civilian vessels. Sarah's jaw tightened. For centuries, humanity had hidden its true capabilities, presenting a facade of a primitive, barely spacefaring race to the galactic community. While alien civilizations dismissed Earth as an insignificant backwater world, humanity had built something extraordinary in secret. The Guardian Fleet. How many civilian ships? Sarah asked, her emerald eyes fixed on the tactical display. 3 passenger carriers, Captain. Approximately 12,000 refugees aboard. They're running from the Nexus expansion into the Pleiades sector. John's voice carried a note of concern. The carrier's engines are failing. They won't make it to their sanctuary coordinates. The Nexus Empire, a civilization of cybernetically enhanced beings who viewed organic life as inherently flawed, had been expanding aggressively across the galaxy for the past decade. Until now, humanity had watched from the shadows, gathering intelligence and preparing. But Sarah knew in her gut that the time for waiting was over. Commander Hayes, ship status. She called out to her executive officer. Diana Hayes, a veteran of countless covered operations, responded instantly. All systems optimal, Captain. Quantum drive at full capacity, shield harmonics stable, and weapon systems charged. The rest of Battle Group 7 is standing by for your orders. Sarah took a deep breath. The Artemis wasn't just any warship. It was the product of 2 centuries of hidden human innovation. Its quantum architecture could rewrite the laws of physics on a localized scale. Its neural interfaces merged human intuition with artificial intelligence in ways the rest of the galaxy couldn't imagine. And its weapons, they were something else entirely. Send an encrypted burst to Fleet Command, Sarah ordered. Authorization Mitchell, Alpha 70. Message begins. The line must be drawn here. The response came almost instantly. Authorization granted. The Guardian Fleet is revealed. Protect those civilians at all costs. Sarah allowed herself a small smile. Battle stations. Disengage stealth systems. Signal the battle group to form up on our position. She paused, feeling the weight of history on her shoulders. Let's show the galaxy what humanity has been working on. The Artemis's stealth field dissolved, revealing the sleek obsidian form of the most advanced warship ever built by human hands. Around it, 5 more ships shimmed into visibility, their hulls gleaming with the same dark material that absorbed nearly all electromagnetic radiation. Multiple targeting locks from Nexus vessels, John reported. They're charging weapons. Deploy quantum shields, Sarah commanded. Signal the Hyperion and the Athena to move to flanking positions. Orion and Perseus, prepare to execute Maneuver Echo 3. Helios, stand by with gravity lance. The bridge crew moved with practiced precision, their neural interfaces allowing them to react at superhuman speeds. They had trained for this moment their entire careers, but had never faced real combat against an alien force. Today would change everything. Nexus vessels are launching fighters, Hayes reported, detecting energy signatures consistent with their plasma cannons. Let them come, Sarah said, her voice steady. Tactical, target their command ship. Show them what a quantum cascade looks like. The Artemis's main weapon, a device that could temporarily alter the fundamental forces of nature within a localized space, powered up with a deep, resonant hum. The Nexus Empire was about to learn that humanity's apparent technological backwardness had been the greatest deception in galactic history. Signal to all ships, Sarah announced, her voice carrying across the battle group's quantum-encrypted channels. The age of hiding is over. We are the guardians of Earth, and today we become the guardians of all who need protection. Execute Battle Plan Delta 7. Show them what humanity can do. As the first salvos of enemy fire approached, Sarah watched her crew work with calm efficiency. They were about to change the course of galactic history, and she couldn't have asked for a better team to do it with. The Guardian fleet was about to announce its presence to the galaxy in spectacular fashion. Quantum Cascade ready, Zhang announced. Sarah's eyes narrowed as she focused on the Nexus command ship. Fire. The space between the Artemis and its target seemed to fold in on itself as the quantum cascade took effect. For a brief moment, the laws of physics themselves bent to human will. The Nexus shift shields, designed to handle conventional energy weapons, might as well have been tissue paper against this fundamental force of nature. The battle had begun, and with it, a new chapter in human history. The silent guardians would be silent no more. Launch interceptors, Sarah ordered as enemy fighters approached. Show them what 200 years of hidden human ingenuity looks like. It's time to rewrite the galaxy's understanding of what humanity is capable of. The next few minutes would prove to the galaxy that they had gravely underestimated Earth and its children. The age of deception was over. The age of the Guardian fleet had begun. First contact redux. The aftermath of the Guardian fleet's first engagement sent shockwaves through the galactic community. Within hours of the battle, quantum transmissions carrying footage of advanced human warships defeating Nexus forces spread across civilized space. The revelation that humanity had secretly developed technology centuries ahead of known science triggered a diplomatic crisis unprecedented in galactic history. Admiral Chen Wei stood in the central chamber of the Galactic Concordat's massive space station, facing representatives from 30 different species. The ancient chamber, with its towering crystalline walls and floating platforms, had witnessed countless diplomatic gatherings, but none quite like this. "You deceived us all," declared High Counselor Zixtal of the Aetherian Collective, his crystalline form pulsing with agitation. "For centuries, we believed Earth to be a primitive world barely capable of interstellar travel." Chen smiled diplomatically, her weathered features masking decades of covert operations. "We prefer to think of it as careful preparation, Counselor. Humanity's first contact with alien life centuries ago taught us valuable lessons about revealing too much, too soon." The chamber erupted in overlapping voices as various representatives argued about the implications. Some demanded immediate sanctions against Earth, while others called for sharing of human technology to combat the Nexus threat. Silence. The commanding voice belonged to Grand Arbiter Kale, the oldest living member of the Concordat. The ancient being's tentacles wavered as it spoke. "The question before us is not about past deceptions, but present threats. The Nexus Empire expands unchecked, and now we witness human ships wielding technology that could turn the tide." Before Chen could respond, the chamber's emergency alerts blared. Holographic displays materialized, showing a massive Nexus fleet emerging from quantum space near the station. "They must have tracked our quantum signatures from the refugee rescue," Chen muttered, already activating her neural link to the Guardian fleet. "Counselors, I suggest we continue this discussion after we deal with our uninvited guests." The Nexus fleet's formation was impressive. Over 50 capital ships arranged in their signature pyramid pattern, with swarms of fighters creating a defensive screen. Their message, broadcast on all frequencies, was characteristically blunt. Surrender the human vessels and their technological data, or face extinction. Chen's response came in the form of 12 Guardian fleet vessels dropping out of quantum space around the station. The ESS Artemis led the formation, its obsidian hull seeming to drink in the starlight. "This is Admiral Chen Wei of the Earth Guardian Fleet. To all Concordat vessels," she broadcast. "We'll handle the primary engagement. Focus on protecting the civilian sections of the station." Captain Mitchell's voice came through the quantum link. "Admiral, the Artemis is picking up unusual energy signatures from the Nexus fleet. They're using technology we haven't encountered before." They'd been holding back too, Chen realized. Battle Group 7. Initiate Protocol Omega. Show them everything. The Guardian Fleet's response demonstrated why humanity had spent centuries preparing in secret. The ships moved in perfect synchronization, their quantum drives allowing them to appear and disappear across the battlefield like ghostly dancers. Each vessel's AI worked in harmony with its human crew, calculating and executing maneuvers that would have been impossible for either artificial or human intelligence alone. From her position in the Concordat chamber, Chen watched alien representatives stare in awe as human warships executed tactics that defied conventional physics. The Artemis led a devastating attack run, its quantum cascade weapons creating localized areas where the laws of nature briefly rewrote themselves. Nexus ships found their advanced shields useless against weapons that could temporarily alter the fundamental forces holding matter together. But the Nexus Empire hadn't become the galaxy's greatest threat by being predictable. Their ships began adapting, their cybernetic crews learning and evolving strategies in real time. Energy beams of impossible colors lashed out, carrying algorithmic viruses designed to corrupt any computer systems they touched. "They're targeting our neural interfaces," Captain Mitchell reported, her voice tense, switching to isolated quantum processors. Chen nodded, watching the battle unfold. This was the true test of humanity's preparations, not just their technology, but their ability to adapt and innovate in the face of the unexpected. The Guardian fleet had trained for centuries, but real combat against an advanced enemy was proving even more challenging than their simulations. "All ships, execute Maneuver Prometheus," Chen commanded. It was time to reveal another of humanity's carefully hidden advantages. Deploy the quantum mesh. Streams of quantum-entangled particles spread between the Guardian fleet vessels, creating a network that allowed them to share processing power and coordinate at speeds faster than light itself. The mesh turned 12 individual ships into a single organism, responding and adapting as one. The Nexus fleet's formation began to break as human ships seemed to anticipate their every move. Each attempted adaptation was met with an immediate counter-response, as if the Guardian fleet could see seconds into the future. From the Concordat chamber, alien representatives watched in stunned silence as humanity's hidden fleet systematically dismantled what should have been an overwhelming enemy force. The message was clear: Earth's long isolation had not been spent idle. As the last Nexus ship retreated into quantum space, Chen turned back to the assembled delegates. "Now then, shall we continue our discussion about humanity's place in the galaxy? I believe we have some interesting perspectives to share about the nature of preparation, innovation, and the true meaning of advancement." The chamber remained silent for a long moment before Grand Arbiter Kale spoke again. "It seems, Admiral Chen, that humanity has been teaching us a lesson about assumptions and appearances. Perhaps it is time we all learn to look beyond our preconceptions." Chen smiled, knowing this was just the beginning. The galaxy was about to change, and humanity would help shape that change, whether the older civilizations were ready for it or not. The quantum offensive. The combined fleet of human and alien vessels emerged from quantum space at the edge of the Perseus Arm, their formation stretching across thousands of kilometers of void. At its heart, the ESS Artemis led the advance, its quantum sensors probing the darkness ahead for signs of their enemy. Dr. Elena Santos stood at her station in the Artemis quantum physics lab, her dark eyes fixed on readings that seemed to defy the known laws of physics. After 3 months of studying Nexus technology recovered from previous battles, she had finally begun to understand what they were truly facing. "Captain Mitchell," Elena called through the neural link, her voice urgent. "I need you to see these readings. There's something about the Nexus that we've all missed." Sarah Mitchell arrived minutes later, accompanied by Admiral Chen. The lab's holographic displays showed complex mathematical models of Nexus ship behavior during combat. Elena pointed to a particular set of equations floating in the air. "Look at these quantum signature patterns," she explained. "The Nexus ships aren't just using advanced technology. They're manipulating the quantum substrate of space-time itself. But here's the truly disturbing part. These patterns exactly match theoretical models for artificial universe creation. Admiral Chen's expression darkened. You're saying the Nexus Empire isn't from our universe. I'm saying they're trying to transform our universe into something else entirely, Alina replied. Their cybernetic enhancement program isn't about improvement. It's about preparing organic life to survive in a completely different reality. The implications hit Sarah like a physical blow. They're not invading our space. They're terraforming our entire universe. Before they could discuss further, battle alerts blared throughout the ship. Lieutenant Zhang's voice came through the neural link. Multiple Nexus signatures detected. Massive fleet emerging from quantum space. The battle that followed would be remembered for centuries as one of the largest space engagements in galactic history. The combined fleet's 800 ships faced over 1,000 Nexus vessels, their battle lines stretching across an entire solar system. All ships, Battle Formation Delta, Admiral Chen commanded. Guardian fleet vessels, activate quantum mesh. Concordat allies, form up around our quantum anchor points. The human-alien fleet moved with practiced coordination, months of joint training paying off as they executed complex maneuvers together. The Guardian fleet's advanced technology complemented the unique capabilities of their alien allies, crystalline Etherian ships that could redirect energy weapons, organic Zylaxian vessels that could heal damage in real time, and the massive gravitational controllers of the Tauri. Enemy fleet is deploying something new, Zhang reported, his voice tense. Energy signatures are off the charts. The Nexus ships began to emit waves of strange radiation that seemed to distort the very fabric of space around them. Where the waves passed, stars appeared to shift position, and light itself behaved strangely. They're beginning the transformation, Alina realized, her fingers flying across her neural interface. They're trying to change the fundamental constants of our region of space. Sarah's mind raced, processing the tactical implications. Dr. Santos, can we use our quantum cascade weapons to disrupt their effect? Better, Alina replied, a spark of inspiration in her eyes. We can use the quantum mesh to create a counter-resonance, fight their universal constants with our own. Admiral Chen didn't hesitate. Do it. All Guardian fleet vessels divert power to the quantum mesh. Concordat ships fall back to safe distance. The space between the two fleets became a battlefield not just of ships and weapons, but of reality itself. Nexus waves of universe-altering radiation clashed with the Guardian fleet's quantum stabilization field. Stars seemed to flicker between different spectral classifications as fundamental forces wavered between two sets of physical laws. In the chaos, Sarah noticed something crucial. Their ships, they're vulnerable when they're projecting the transformation field. All ships concentrate fire on their emission points. The combined fleet struck with devastating precision. Guardian fleet quantum cascades shattered Nexus reality warping projectors, while Etherian crystal ships redirected the enemy's own energy weapons back at them. Zylaxian organic vessels released clouds of smart matter that consumed Nexus hull material, while Tauri gravity weapons created localized black holes that swallowed enemy fighters. But the Nexus fleet fought with the desperation of zealots committed to their cause. Their ships began to merge into larger structures, sacrificing themselves to create massive reality warping engines. They're going to trigger a chain reaction, Alina warned. If they succeed, it'll create a cascade that will transform this entire sector instantly. Sarah shared a look with Admiral Chen. They both knew what had to be done. Dr. Santos, can we use the quantum mesh to contain their transformation effect? Alina's calculations flashed through the neural network. Yes, but we have to get all Guardian fleet vessels close enough to create a complete quantum bubble. The power requirements would be massive and likely fatal to the ships inside. Chen added grimly, Captain Mitchell, take the Artemis and Battle Group 7. Lead the containment operation. The rest of the fleet will provide cover. Sarah nodded, feeling the weight of history once again. Battle Group 7, form up. We're going to show the Nexus that humanity doesn't just adapt to the laws of physics, we enforce them. The next 10 minutes would become legend in the annals of both human and alien history. The Artemis and its sister ships flew into the heart of the reality storm, their quantum mesh creating a bubble of stable spacetime around the Nexus transformation engines. As the enemy's reality-warping energies reached their peak, the Guardian fleet vessels channeled the power through their own quantum networks, containing and redirecting the universe-changing forces. The cost was devastating. 3 Guardian fleet ships were torn apart by the energies they contained. But in the end, when the quantum storm cleared, the laws of physics remained unchanged, and the Nexus fleet's grand attempt at universal terraforming had failed. As rescue operations began and the fleet regrouped, Sarah stood in the Artemis damaged bridge, looking at the battle damage reports. They had won a crucial victory, but the war was far from over. The Nexus Empire's true nature was now revealed. They weren't just conquerors, but reality-bending zealots determined to remake the universe in their image. Humanity and its allies would have to find a way to stop them, not just to save their territories or peoples, but to preserve the very nature of reality itself. As Sarah watched Allied ships conducting rescue operations together, she felt a glimmer of hope. Perhaps the combined ingenuity of humanity and its new allies would be enough to face this threat to existence itself. Dark matter rising. The holographic display in the Artemis Strategic Command Center showed thousands of civilian worlds as points of light, each one representing billions of lives. Dr. Elena Santos watched as several of these points began to pulse red, indicating quantum disturbances that matched the Nexus signature. They're not retreating. Elena explained to the assembled command staff. They're preparing for a massive coordinated strike against population centers. The failed transformation attempt was just a test. Admiral Chen studied the tactical display, her expression grim. How many targets? 27 worlds, Elena replied. All heavily populated, all with minimal defenses. Total civilian population at risk. Approximately 1 trillion sentient beings. Captain Sarah Mitchell leaned forward, her fingers tracing patterns between the targeted worlds. There's something else. Look at the geometric pattern these targets form when mapped in 4-dimensional spacetime. Elena's eyes widened as she ran the calculations. It's a resonance matrix. If they trigger their reality warping technology at these precise points, they could create a cascade effect that would alter the fundamental constants across an entire spiral arm. Chen finished. We'd lose a quarter of the galaxy in an instant. The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity had spent centuries preparing for war, but nothing could have prepared them for an enemy willing to rewrite the laws of physics themselves. We have options, Sarah said, breaking the silence. The quantum mesh technology we used to contain their last attempt, we could adapt it to create stable zones around the targeted worlds. Elena shook her head. We don't have enough ships. Even if we deployed the entire Guardian fleet, we could only protect maybe 6 or 7 worlds. Then we changed the game, Sarah replied, her green eyes intense. Dr. Santos, you said their transformation effect works by creating resonance patterns in spacetime, correct? Yes, but what if we created our own pattern? Not to contain their effect, but to disrupt it completely. Elena's fingers flew across her neural interface as she ran the calculations. It's possible, but we'd need to place quantum resonators at specific points throughout the target zone. The precision required would be beyond anything we've attempted. Admiral Chen activated a secure channel to Earth Command. This is Chen. We need every quantum resonator in production, immediately, and contact the Concordat. We'll need their fastest ships for deployment. The next 48 hours became a race against time. The Guardian fleet coordinated with alien allies in the largest cooperative military operation in galactic history. Aetherian crystal ships used their natural FTL capabilities to transport quantum resonators. Zalaxian organic vessels modified themselves to serve as mobile deployment platforms. The massive Tori gravitational engines helped create stable corridors through space-time for faster transport. On the Artemis's bridge, Sarah watched the deployment countdown with growing tension. Status report. 87% of resonators deployed, Lieutenant Zhang reported. But we're detecting Nexus fleet movements. They know what we're doing. Of course they do, Sarah muttered. They're not just cybernetically enhanced. They're quantum aware. They can probably sense our preparations. Enemy fleet emerging from quantum space. Zhang called out. Multiple vectors. They're targeting our deployment ships. The battle that followed pushed both human ingenuity and alien cooperation to their limits. Guardian fleet vessels used themselves as shields, their quantum shields absorbing devastating hits to protect the slower deployment ships. Aetherian crystals, ships formed living networks of energy redistribution, turning the enemy's attacks back upon themselves. But the Nexus forces fought with terrifying efficiency, their ships displaying new adaptations to human tactics. They had learned from previous encounters, their quantum-based weapons now capable of disrupting the Guardian fleet's defensive systems. We're losing too many deployment ships, Elena reported from her station. At this rate, we won't complete the resonator network in time. Sarah's mind raced, considering options. Then she remembered something from humanity's earliest space experiments. What if we didn't need ships for the final deployments? Dr. Santos, could we use quantum entanglement to teleport the remaining resonators into position? The power requirements would be astronomical. Elena began, then stopped as she saw where Sarah was going with this. But if we use the Artemis's core as a quantum anchor, we could channel power from the entire fleet through the quantum mesh. Sarah finished. One massive teleport operation. Admiral Chen's voice came through the neural link. The risk to the fleet would be extreme. We'd be vulnerable. Her voice cut off as a Nexus strike hit her command ship. Admiral, Sarah called out. No response. She took a deep breath, knowing what had to be done. All Guardian fleet vessels, this is Captain Mitchell. Form up on the Artemis. Concordat allies provide perimeter defense. We're going to finish this. The next few minutes tested the limits of both technology and human courage. The Guardian fleet ships linked their quantum cores through the mesh network, pooling their power for one massive operation. Enemy fire raked their formation, but they held position. Quantum entanglement field at maximum. Elena called out. Resonator targeting solutions locked. Now, Sarah commanded. Reality itself seemed to shudder as the Guardian fleet channeled enough energy to briefly connect points across light years of space. The remaining quantum resonators vanished from their holds, reappearing simultaneously at their designated coordinates throughout the target zone. The effect was immediate. As the Nexus forces triggered their reality-warping weapons, they met not defenseless worlds but a precisely calculated web of quantum interference. Their transformation effect collapsed in upon itself, creating a cascade of reality stabilization rather than transformation. When the quantum storms cleared, all 27 targeted worlds remained unchanged, their billions of inhabitants safe, but the victory had come at a cost. Half the Guardian fleet's ships had burned out their cores in the teleport operation, left powerless and vulnerable in space. As emergency rescue operations began, Sarah received a weak transmission from Admiral Chen's damaged flagship. Well done, Captain. Chen's voice came through with static. It seems humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology after all. It's our willingness to risk everything to protect others. Sarah looked out at the fleet of alien ships, now working alongside human vessels to rescue their damaged allies. The Guardian fleet had been created to protect Earth, but today they had become guardians of something far larger, the very nature of reality itself. As repair crews worked to restore power to the damaged ships, Sarah knew this wasn't over. The Nexus Empire had been thwarted but not defeated. They would adapt, learn, and return with new strategies. But humanity and its allies would be ready, standing together to face whatever came next. Legacy of Earth. The quantum signature appeared without warning at the heart of the Milky Way, a disturbance so massive it set off detection systems across the galaxy. On the bridge of the ESS Artemis, newly repaired after the battle to save the 27 worlds, Captain Sarah Mitchell watched the readings with growing concern. "It's larger than anything we've seen before," Dr. Elena Santos reported, her holographic displays showing cascading waves of quantum distortion. "The Nexus isn't just trying to transform a sector anymore. They're targeting the galactic core itself." Admiral Chen's voice came through the quantum mesh network, linking all Guardian fleet vessels and their alien allies. "If they succeed in altering the fundamental constants at the galactic core, the changes would propagate outward at light speed," Elena finished. "The entire galaxy would be transformed within 100,000 years. No evacuation would be possible. No escape." The combined fleet had assembled near the galactic core's outer boundary, every operational ship humanity and its allies could muster. The Guardian fleet's surviving vessels formed the vanguard, their quantum mesh technology now integrated with Aetherian crystal matrices and Salaxian organic computing systems. The synthesis of multiple species technologies had created defensive and offensive capabilities beyond what any single civilization could achieve. "New contact," Lieutenant Zhang called out. "Massive quantum displacement. It's by the stars." The view screen showed what appeared to be a tear in space itself, a wound in reality through which poured the largest Nexus fleet ever encountered. But these ships were different, their forms twisted and strange, as though they were only partially existing in normal spacetime. "Those ships," Elena breathed, "they're not just using quantum technology. They'd fully transformed themselves. They exist simultaneously in our universe and whatever reality they're trying to create." Sarah's mind raced, processing tactical implications. The enemy had evolved beyond their previous encounters, but so had humanity and its allies. All ships, Battle Formation Omega, Guardian fleet vessels, prepare to execute Protocol Ascension. Protocol Ascension was humanity's final contingency, developed in secret even from their alien allies. It represented the ultimate fusion of human innovation and desperate courage. The ability to temporarily transform their own ships and crews into quantum state beings, able to fight the Nexus on their own terms. "You can't be serious." Admiral Chen's voice held rare emotion. "The procedure's never been tested. We don't know if the human mind can survive quantum state transformation." "We don't have a choice," Sarah replied. "We can't fight them in normal space anymore. They're too far evolved." She opened a channel to all Guardian fleet crews. "This is Captain Mitchell. We've trained for this. We've prepared. Everything humanity has done for the past 2 centuries has led to this moment. Are you with me?" The responses came back instantly, every human crew ready to risk everything, to push the boundaries of what their species could become. The alien allies watched in awe as the Guardian fleet vessels began to shimmer, their quantum cores pulsing with unprecedented power. "Quantum state transformation beginning," Elena reported, her voice steady despite the extraordinary forces building around them. "All crews, brace for consciousness expansion." Sarah felt it first as a tingling in her mind, then as an explosion of awareness. Suddenly, she could perceive reality in ways her human brain had never been meant to process. Multiple dimensions, probability waves, the quantum foam of spacetime itself. Around her, she sensed her crew undergoing the same transformation, their consciousness expanding beyond normal human limits. The Artemis and its sister ships shifted partially out of normal spacetime, matching the Nexus vessel's state of quantum uncertainty. The battle that followed defied conventional description. Ships fighting across multiple dimensions, weapons that altered probability itself, reality bending and twisting as 2 fundamentally different visions for the universe clashed. Through it all, humanity's greatest strengths shone through. Where the Nexus fought with cold machine logic, human crews demonstrated creativity and intuition that transcended their new quantum state. They adapted instantly to fighting in multiple dimensions, their minds working in ways that even their own scientists hadn't predicted. They're trying to establish a quantum resonance with the galactic core. Elena's voice came through the quantum mesh, somehow maintaining its humanity despite their transformed state. If they succeed, then we don't let them succeed, Sarah responded. She could see it now, in ways her quantum-enhanced mind could barely process. The pattern they needed, the way to not just stop the Nexus but end their threat forever. All ships, follow our lead, she commanded. We're going to create a quantum lock on this entire region of space, not to change reality, to preserve it. The combined fleet moved as one, human quantum vessels coordinating with alien ships in an intricate dance of physics and willpower. They weren't fighting to destroy the Nexus anymore. They were fighting to freeze them in quantum uncertainty, to lock them in a state between realities where they could never complete their transformation. The power requirements were enormous, pushing even their quantum-enhanced ships to their limits. But they had one advantage the Nexus had never counted on: the human ability to sacrifice everything for a cause greater than themselves. Quantum lock establishing, Elena reported as reality itself seemed to crystallize around them. But we'll have to maintain it permanently. Sarah understood what that meant. To keep the Nexus trapped between realities, some of them would have to remain in their quantum state, standing guard for eternity at the boundary between universes. I'll do it, she said, knowing others would volunteer with her. A permanent quantum guard force, the ultimate extension of our role as guardians. The Nexus fought desperately against their imprisonment, but it was too late. The combined power of humanity's quantum-transformed ships and their alien allies' technologies created a barrier they couldn't break. Reality stabilized, the galactic core secured, and a new chapter in cosmic history began. Weeks later, Admiral Chen stood before the Galactic Concordat, explaining what had happened. The Guardian fleet had evolved into something new. The Quantum Guard, a force of transformed humans maintaining eternal vigilance at the boundaries of reality. They had saved the galaxy not through superior firepower, but through the uniquely human combination of technological innovation, adaptability, and self-sacrifice. In the quantum realm between realities, Sarah and her volunteer crew maintained their watch. Their consciousness expanded beyond normal human limits, but their humanity intact. They had become something new, something that transcended ordinary existence, but they had done it for the most human of reasons: to protect others. The legacy of Earth had become more than just technological advancement or military might. It had become a testament to humanity's greatest qualities: the ability to adapt, to sacrifice, to transform themselves while maintaining their essential nature. In becoming something more than human, they had proven what humanity truly was: a species capable of facing any challenge, of changing themselves to change the universe for the better. In the end, they had become not just guardians of Earth or even of the galaxy, but guardians of reality itself. And in that role, they would endure, a lasting monument to human potential and the power of unity in the face of cosmic threats.